Here we are children, we are going to study about certain basics of chemistry to understand the chapters ahead, like acid, bases and salts and type of chemical reaction, etc. So this basic chemistry is very important for you all to know all the chapters which are ahead of you. So first let us try to understand about a chemical bond and the process of chemical bonding and formation of compounds. We have here a list of the noble gases or the inert gases. The sequence is helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. As you see, helium, then we have got neon, then we have got argon, then we have got krypton, then we have got xenon and radon. Now have a very careful look there. Just keep your focus there and see. I'll enlarge it a little bit. Helium has got atomic number 2 and its electronic configuration is 2. Neon whereas got its atomic number as 10 and its configuration 2,8. Now just see the configuration: argon 2,8,8, krypton 2,8,18,8, xenon 2,8,18,18,8, and radon is 2,8,18,32,18,8. So what is the similarity? First you understand is that the outermost orbit or the valence shell of these atoms or the atoms of these elements, they contain 8 electrons in their outermost orbit, and they've got a very stable configuration. They do not react with any other element at all, though under very extraordinary circumstances later on one or two have reacted, but might be xenon mostly. It has got a few compounds known in the recent researches. However, we base the foundation of chemical combination somewhere around the configuration of noble gases. We know that a stable configuration means having 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. Alright. Now let us examine the configuration of a few other elements. The configuration of electronic configuration of few other elements. I will take just with the basic. Sodium has got atomic number 11. So sodium has got atomic number 11. So its electronic configuration is 2,8,1. Alright, and if I see chlorine, it has got atomic number 17, so it has got electronic configuration as 2,8,7. Now what will happen? Sodium is unstable. It does not have a stable configuration. Neither is chlorine very stable. It is not got very stable configuration. So what happens? Both the atoms, they want to have a configuration like the nearmost inert gas atom. So sodium is closer toward neon 2,8. Chlorine is near toward argon 2,8,8. Now to have a configuration like neon, sodium has to lose an electron, and to have a configuration like argon, chlorine has to gain an electron. So what they do is, sodium will lose an electron. Now as soon as it loses an electron to chlorine, now see what is happening. Sodium becomes plus charge, and chlorine, since it has gained an electron, chlorine becomes negatively charged, that is positive and negative charge. Now both the atoms will hold each other through electrostatic force of attraction, and it's not that two atoms are only present in a particular bonding process. There will be millions of sodium atoms and millions of chlorine atoms, so they will form a crystal where sodium atom will always have chlorine atoms around it, and chlorine atoms will always have sodium around it. That means it will be like a boy and a girl standing, so each boy is having girls opposite to her, to her, and each boy having girls opposite to him, and each girl having boys opposite to him. This can be done by understanding this way. Now here there will be chlorine, alright, but here there will be sodium, like that. So this sodium will be close to this chlorine also, and this chlorine will be close to this sodium. So we call it a crystal. Now there is a transfer of electron which has taken place, If I really draw a diagram to show this, the electronic dot structure we call it. Now I will just put dots for outermost electrons of chlorine. So chlorine has got 7 electrons, and I have put a cross for the electron which has come from sodium. So if I cover it up like this, so this whole system is having plus charge and this whole atom is having minus charge. But now its outermost orbit is actually the previous orbit of it, and now this is plus charge. So now sodium and chlorine have become, now this is a compound. This is a compound. Sodium chloride is a compound, the table salt we use. And this is an electrovalent compound. So what is electrovalent bonding? Electrovalent bonding is the bonding formed due to complete transfer of electron from the atom of an electropositive element to the atom of an electronegative element. An electropositive element is what? The one which will lose electron. And electronegative element is what? The one which will gain electron. So sodium is an electropositive element since it loses electron, it gives electron, and chlorine is an electronegative element because it gains electron. So these are the two important facts. Also remember, see, we are going to metal and non-metal chapter after this. So here only you will understand any metal is the element, the atom of which have a tendency to lose electron. That means among them sodium is a metal. And what is a non-metal? Any atom which has got a tendency to gain electron. So chlorine is a non-metal, or share electron also, then also it will be a non-metal. So this is the first thing we studied. First, one type of bonding, that is bonding formed due to complete transfer of electron from an electropositive atom to an electronegative atom. It can be possible. Another situation can be possible. Let me see. Suppose now here what will happen? Here what will happen? We, instead of chlorine, now suppose we have sodium, oxygen. Instead of chlorine, we have got oxygen. Now oxygen has got 8 electrons in its outermost orbit. So its electronic configuration is 2,6. What is the balance? How many electrons does oxygen need, Sachin? How many electrons to complete its octet? Complete its octet. How many electron to complete its octet? Its octet. So that means it will get 8 electrons. It will need 8 electrons. Intentionally I have kept a boy to answer me wrong so that you can get it right. So you cannot say 0, anything, any number. See, you have to get it 8 electrons. Octet rule means you have to get 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. So now what does it do? It will require 2 electrons, isn't it? So, but sodium has got only 1 electron to lose. So what it will do? Sodium has got only 1 electron to lose. So what it will do? One more sodium atom has to come here, and both of them will give electrons to oxygen. Both of them will give electrons to oxygen. So now what will happen? 2 sodium atoms. So 2 sodium atoms. So each one will be having plus charge, 1 plus charge on each, and 1 oxygen atom. And since it has got its own 6 electrons plus 1 electron from the valence shell of sodium, so this will be Na2O. So sodium oxide is formed. This is also electrovalent compound, or ionic compound also because ions are formed here. So what is happening? You are getting sodium oxide. So during the process, what I am trying to explain you is that what are electrovalent compounds? Electrovalent compounds are the compounds which are formed by complete transfer of electrons, which are formed by complete transfer of electrons from the atom of an electropositive element to the atom of an electronegative element. Now here only you try to understand what is electrovalency. Electrovalency is the number of electrons gained or lost by a single atom. Now suppose sodium, if I say, so sodium has lost only 1 electron. So its valency, if I have to write, sodium's valency, so its valency is 1. And oxygen valency, the number of electron a single atom gains. So oxygen gains 2 electrons. So its valency is actually in the early days we used to call +1 valency if it is losing, and minus 1 or minus 2 valency when it is gaining. But nowadays we remove the sign. Now there is a technique to write the formula if you know the valency. That is known as the cross multiplication. That means the valency of oxygen goes to sodium and the valency of sodium goes to oxygen. So 1, so we don't write 1. So sodium oxide. Suppose in the previous one we saw chlorine valency was 1. Sodium valency was 1 in the previous example, just before this, if you can rewind and see, and chlorine had 1 because sodium has given 1 electron to chlorine. So the number of electron lost by one atom is valency, and chlorine had gained 1 electron from sodium. So if I cross multiply, it will be Na1 and Cl1. So since it's the same thing, we don't write 1. 1 we don't write. Alright, and even if there are same numbers, then also they cancel out. Alright, so this you have to remember. So this is about electrovalent compounds. Now what happens, children? You have to understand certain properties of electrovalent compound. So what will happen if you will have a look? If you will have a look on the bond formation, children, if you have a look on the bond formation, you've seen NaCl, actually we don't write the charge, but you know there is a hidden plus and a hidden minus. So in a solution they break up into Na plus and Cl minus. They furnish positive and negative ions, that means cations and anions. If I write Na2A, Na2O, so normally they will dissociate into this way. Now these are two sodium ions, each one having 1 plus charge and one oxygen atom having 2 negative charge. Negative charge means it has gained an electron. So this is how electrovalent compound or ionic compounds behave in a solution. They dissociate into their ions. Alright, though the ions stay close, but they can dissociate or break. And you know, out of 100 molecules, some of them will break and some will stay there. That is why you write this sign. This is known as the equilibrium sign. Try to understand. If there are 100 sodium oxide molecules, so 50 will be breaking, at the same time 50 will be together, 50 will be not breaking. Now suppose 10 again break, then another 10 will unite. So the number of dissociated ion in the particular solution will remain constant, but it is known as equilibrium. It is known as dynamic equilibrium. Again I will explain you through an example. Suppose I say, now this is an acid I am writing. All the acids have some electrovalent part in it. Now suppose I take 100 molecules of sodium hydrochloric acid solution, and then what happens? HCl will break up, ionize into H plus and Cl minus. Now out of that 100, 10 will always be broken. So that means suppose there are 10 pairs which are broken. So if one pair again unites, then another unified from the 90 remaining will break. So always the broken number of, or the dissociated number of molecules remains 10. So that is why this equilibrium sign is taken. So in some of the things, like now we know, see this is a metal, aluminum, it has got valency 3, and oxygen is a non-metal, it has got valency -2. So nowadays we don't write. So how will aluminum and oxygen form a compound? So just cross multiply. That means oxygen valency comes to aluminum and aluminum valency goes to oxygen. So if you break it up, what do you understand? Now have a look. This is the final thing I am doing. Have a look. Aluminum has an electronic configuration 3, and oxygen has got electronic configuration 2,6. So each oxygen will need 2 electrons, while each aluminum can give 3 electrons. So let me try to explain you through this explanatory figure. Now have a look. Oxygen here, each oxygen needs 2, this oxygen needs 2. Now see, aluminum we can throw 3, then only it will be stable. So it will throw all its 3 electrons or give all its 3 electrons. This aluminum also will give 3 electrons. So together they will release 6 electrons. This receives 2, and one more this receives 2. So total 6 electrons of aluminum are received from 2 aluminum atoms to 3 oxygen atoms. That is why Al2O3 formula is. So these are the basic things first you have to very neatly, carefully understand. So you will be able to write the formula. Sometimes a whole group has got negative charge. Like say for example, if I write aluminum is the valency is 3 and sulfate ion, whatever is the charge, that is its valency 2. So we'll write Al2SO4 and the valency of it will write. So this forms aluminum sulfate. If I take up hydrogen, its valency is positive 1, sulfate its valency is negative 2, but we don't write negative and positive. So we write like this. Now the valency of sulfate goes to hydrogen, and since its valency is 1, so we don't use bracket. So we form H2SO4. Thank you. Have a nice day.